in KwaZulu-Natal shocked. 4 men appeared in court yesterday for allegedly eating human flesh. This case has sparked new interest in cannibalism. To discuss this issue, clinical psychologist Gerard Labuschagne joins us now from Pretoria. Good evening, Dr. Labuschagne, and thank you very much for joining us. I mean, from studies and lived experiences, under what circumstances do human beings eat other human beings?
Hi, Vuyo. Well, it's a very obviously extreme situation. In reality, most of the cases that I've come across in South Africa and even internationally is that there's often a mental illness component involved. So one would definitely want to rule that out first before one goes on to other options. Because it's not a typical feature of our Muti murders in South Africa that you would get cannibalism going with the Muti scenario.
Why would you completely rule out Muti, and why would you say it is, or suggest that it is only someone who is not okay?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say we rule it out, but I say our first options are we have to rule out certain things first before one can go into that sort of scenario. So typically with your Muti cases, you don't find, for example, a sexual element of the crime. You don't really find cannibalism as part of the crime. So while human body parts are used in Muti, they're not usually going to be consumed. So that's why, as I said, we first want to rule out different things before we settle on that option. But also I would like to say that we have to be very careful about making any final pronouncements based on what information's been available at this point in time, because mostly what we've heard is really just media reports, and that's not necessarily going to be the most accurate form of information about what really took place.
If it's not, mental health problems, what are the other possibilities then?
Yeah. So the other times in South Africa where we've seen this type of behavior, it's been, for example, amongst your sadistic serial murderers. We've had 1 or 2 scenarios where that took place. Like I said, the mental health option. And those are typically what we're going to see with cannibalism cases.
What do you, okay, we don't have the advantage of knowing what exactly happened in the KZN instance, but we understand, it's illegal. It's not illegal, rather, to eat human flesh, but of course one would need to know where where it would have come from. So what could these people be facing, or what sort of charges would they be facing?
Yeah. Well, look, as you said, yes, eating human body parts or human flesh per se is not a crime, but being in possession of human body parts is against the law, whether it's going to be under the old Human Tissue Act or the National Health Act. Both deal with that aspect. So purely being in possession of human body parts in itself is a crime. It doesn't come with a very strict sentence. Of course, if they can prove that you killed the person, then you would be looking potentially at a premeditated murder. Of course, if there was a sexual crime involved, like rape, then then those charges would be added on. But the mere possession of a human body part is actually illegal.
So what's the worst case scenario with regard to, let's say it gets established that they indeed killed the people and actually ate them?
So they'd be facing a murder charge, all of the people involved. Even if 1 or 2 of the people didn't directly physically commit the murder, if they were present, then you would also be charging those individuals with murder. But again, if what any prosecutor would probably do, and definitely any defense counsel would do, is want to have the person referred for mental observation, where they would go to a state facility, they would go through a 30-day observation process to check out their mental status during the time of the crime, and of course at the time when they're about to go to trial. And once that's been excluded as an issue, the trial can proceed with the murder charges.
Lastly, before I let you go, as a former head of the SAPS Specialized Investigative Psychology Section, what sort of challenges do police come across as they investigate or try to resolve these kinds of cases?
Well, I think it's often just the pressure of the high-profile nature of these crimes. I mean, again, you have a murder, and the basic principles in terms of convicting someone in court are the same. You have to link them to the crime, get all the necessary evidence, whether it's forensic evidence, confessions and witnesses, and build your case. So in essence, whether it's an intimate partner murder, multi-murder, serial murder, the evidential principles remain the same, but it's often just the pressure that accompanies these types of cases. I can imagine the poor people dealing with this are facing a lot of inquiries from their seniors in the police in the province, and of course lots of media inquiries, and that just places a definite element of pressure, additional pressure on the investigators dealing with this particular type of crime.
Dr. Labuschagne, thank you very much for your insights. He is a clinical psychologist based in Pretoria.